Good morning. I'd try something different today. Thought I'd come out today because in the last 24 hours we've had a couple inches of rain and it's 50 degrees and cloudy and windy, so it's a good day to go for a hike. Taking advantage of it though. So it'll be a wet walk in the woods. And I'm at the Cold Harbor battlefield today. I've done a lot of photo stuff here before, but never anything in video. This isn't going to be a detailed overview of what happened in the battle. A lot of other channels do that pretty well. This is just, let's go walk the battle, walk the trails in the park. Got a few things to see along the way. And see how squishy it gets. I'm going to start up here in this tree line. We'll see you there. So down there is the Tua Road. I don't know how long it is. A mile or so, maybe a little more than that. So you can drive it and see quite a bit from there. But to really get a feel, it's always fun to be back on the trails. So we're starting off on this side in the Confederate lines. Slowly work our way over to the Union side and see what there is to see. What's really interesting about this park is all the preserved earthworks. And this time of year they're so much easier to see than when it's really leafed out, although it's starting to turn green. But we'll see a lot of these mounds of dirt, basically. So this is some over here on the Confederate side. So just down a little bit further from where we were a minute ago in these Confederate earthworks. This battle took place like first 2 weeks of June in 1864. And we're on the preserved portion of the battlefield. Which, guys, remember, within a couple miles of here is really battlefield, but it's all residential and retail and stuff like that now. It's tough to see honestly how tall these are. They're probably 4 to 5 feet tall from down at the bottom there up to there. Seems like if there's a creek running through a battlefield, it's going to have to be called Bloody Run. So we have one here, of course. Few other people out today. Up there at the top of the hill. I'm not the only crazy one. This is actually the biggest flow I've ever seen on this creek with all the rain we've had. Gonna see it again up ahead. There are a couple of old wartime roads that run through here. I've often wondered if this is one of them. Just remarkably clear, except for that tree that's fallen over there. Just suspiciously clear right in the middle of the woods. There's another road up ahead that's definitely marked as that. So we'll be there in a few minutes. Now along the path, there's these little posts. This is H, of course. They're not interpretive or anything. They're just to mark where you're at on the trail, so if somebody needs help, they can better describe where they're at. I just passed H. Come get me there. It's pretty back here. For about 200 yards, right along the edge of the park boundary. Everything over here is on private property, including the creek, or almost a swamp at this point down there. But apart from occasional plane flying overhead, going into RIC, it's been very quiet back here. I think squirrels outnumber me probably 10 to 1. I'm busy today. So here's the other spot that we know is an old road, old period road. And this got this marker here, kind of tells a story about it. As much of this area was part of the Battle of Gaines Mill, which the preserved section and park is 5 minutes up the road. And during that battle, Stonewall Jackson was here, and Stonewall knew a guy and asked for directions and took a left turn when he should have made a right, or vice versa, and ended up going the wrong way. Went down along this swamp down here, probably. Eventually figured out what he'd done wrong and turned around and went back the right direction, but as a result, he was late for the battle. But stuff happens. But anyway, the road may have well been used for troop movements during Cold Harbor too. So that's the road. It's unfortunate, it's still hard to see, but just beyond this log there is this big mound here. And it's thought to be a Confederate cannon position where they could lower the cannon and raise the barrel up so they could better shoot high into the air. Otherwise they couldn't get the loft or the distance that they needed. But there's several of those pits right here. And it's on this little hillside, so they were trying to get any advantage that they could to get some distance out of their shots. So this area with these mounds is really the front, the majority of the Confederate line. The Union lines will start to show up not too far ahead up in those trees. But for a few days during the battle, this whole area was known as the no man's land. And if you were wounded, it wasn't a very pleasant place to be. This wasn't forested then like it is now, so the 90-degree or very hot temperatures were not very kind. Up here there's more trenches. They just don't show up very well on camera, but you can kind of make them out. Pond wasn't here in the battle. Sure is party though. Carry on up the steps. So made it to the Union lines. And here, the path runs right along inside the trenches, which might give a better perspective of how tall they are. See, there's somebody now. So my phone's about chin level, and I'm 5'8". So it's 5 feet tall. So we're back along the tour road. Just came out of the woods over there, and there was a lady sitting here looking up into the trees. And she pulled out this camera with a very long lens on it, and I heard a bird overhead. I think I scared the bird away. I don't know, but she then pulled up and is still up there, hopefully getting the shot that she was looking for. Sorry. Anyway, all in front of this is all Union lines. It extends up ahead that next 50, 75 yards. It's going to head that way. Alright, so kind of have to wrap this up quick because my phone is quickly dying. I came out of the woods over there along that tree line and just wanted to stop and show you one more thing. And that's this sign. So that land over there on the other side of the street's been recently acquired and preserved by the American Battlefield Trust. And back on that land was actually a large section of the Gaines Mill battlefield. So even though it's still being actively farmed, it'll never be developed. And someday it'll be open to the public to enjoy and appreciate. So it's always a good thing. So we basically made a big circle. back over here to the visitor center. And that's that. So thanks for coming along. I'll catch you on the next one.